In my dream, the quarry was hungry again. Edward and I lingered at the edge, tossing pearls into its terrible mouth. "This isn't so bad," I offered hopefully. "Really, Isabel, I can think of nothing worse. Sometimes you are such a stupid creature." "There are only pearls." He stood up and brushed the dirt from his trousers. "That's just like you, isn't it? Only seeing what you want to see." He crouched down to the ground again, muttering under his breath, "Stupid thing." "That's not true. I see things as they are. Plenty of things. Ugly things." He responded with a mean little laugh, gesturing to the hole before us. Then I saw a city rising from the water. I saw pillars of flesh and spires of twisted bodies. Glittering entrails wavered like flags and hung like storm-ravaged telephone lines. Great stalagmites tore through the floating dead, impaling them and carrying them towards the sky. I was stilled by its presence. "Do you see?" Edward whispered, dropping another pearl into the lake. "Watch now." With a delicate splash, the little ball drifted below the surface and returned as a buoyant, shimmering corpse. "Well, now it's done. We'll have to keep feeding her." Edward released an airy sigh. I turned to run and found myself in a tent on the outskirts of a West African village. Rich cloths and tapestries lined the floor and hung from the support poles. There was a table, much like the one in Hausner's office, covered in soft blankets and pillows, but the cold steel beneath could not be entirely hidden. I moved toward the entrance and drew the tarp aside. Outside, a group of small village girls giggled and ran about, twirling long red ribbons in the air. They were beautiful and dark, with high cheekbones and ashen hands. "You really should lay down, dear." The frail voice of Willa crept upon me from inside the tent. "It's not over yet." I couldn't face her. My eyes remained on the girls, now aware of my presence. Their ribbons fell to the ground as they became still. They reminded me of a murder of crows. "What does it want?" "What's that, Lil?" "The quarry, what does she want?" "She just needs someone to feed her the way that you and my grandson once did, and the way we all have somehow. Edward's great-grandmother took care of her so well, giving her all those minors. My Jacob and Rosalie didn't take to it as easily. They gave her more in spirit, more in pain than proper bodies, but she fares well enough either way. And then my dear Edward, just like his father, more souls than bodies, but one does what one can. Thank heavens for your daughter. She'll see that our mother eats when you no longer can." I closed my eyes as the truth slammed into the back of my head. When I opened them again, one of the girls had come toward me. She stood before me, jutting her underdeveloped hip to the side and pulling her necklace across her pink and brown lips. It was my necklace, Lilla's necklace. She licked one of the pearls and laughed before running back to her friends. She carried herself like a prostitute. The child couldn't have been more than 8. I looked to the sky and saw the head of a Chinese dragon eating the blood-red sun. I didn't have to tell Edward, he knew. Somewhere inside his reptile brain, he knew. The presence of the creature that masqueraded as Edward's grandmother grew stronger every day. I would see her in every corner, breaking through the dusty rays of light. I could feel her come upon me, nearly threatening, until Edward would move in, displacing her. If he couldn't see her, he certainly felt her. And this was our Christmas, isolated, cold, and haunted. We were so distracted with this terror that we paid no mind as one year drifted into the next.